weather today is starkly different than last week. Last week I was running away from heat stroke. This week I am in a sweater and still kind of chilly. It's like 12 degrees Celsius out today. That's the high for today. And I'm gonna have to cover my tomato plants tonight because it's supposed to get down to like 4 degrees Celsius. So the goal for today, which I've said the last 3 videos, but I think it's actually possible today. The goal is to get the rest of the garden planted and in the ground today. So I just went through all my seeds to see what I actually have left to plant seed-wise, and what I'm done planting. So the thing we're gonna start with, I'm thinking, is our corn. I'm doing the double standard sweet corn because we just planted a huge field of corn on top of the hill, and there's trees and everything like blocking it, so I don't think we'll have any issues of cross-pollination between them. But it's sweet corn on the hill, so I figured I'd plant my sweet corn first down below, and in 2 weeks I will plant the ladyfinger popcorn corn. That way hopefully they don't cross-pollinate with each other and end up with half popcorn, half sweet corn cobs. And then we have things like more carrots, all of my zucchini, and patty pan zucchini, and there's not a lot we have to do. I have 4 rows dug in a square shaped because your corn pollinates better in a square grid pattern than long rows. So instead of doing 1 long row, I did 4 short rows side by side, and I have my corn, and you want them spaced apart about 10 centimeters when you're seeding them, and then once they germinate you want to thin them out to 20 centimeters apart for this variety of corn. Have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of corn here. In this like triangular shape here of the garden, I'm gonna put the pumpkins. That way I can get them, if I need to vine that way out of the garden and not have them take up a huge space in the garden. So we're gonna go over here and just plant a bunch of pumpkins, and we're gonna hope for the best. Now for the pumpkins, you plant them in hills. So you hill up a mound of dirt, put 3 or 4 seeds in the hill, cover that, and let them germinate that way. And once they've sprouted to 1 inch or 2, you thin them out to 2 plants per hill. And because they vine, you want them spread apart quite a bit, 4 to 6 feet between each hill. I think I am going to do 4 feet per hill. And then worst case, I can thin them out more so than that if I need to. But I have heirloom pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. I have a bunch of packs of them because my mom got them from me. So I think I am just going to plant these everywhere. Once they sprout, I will thin them out as needed. I also have a small fancy gourd mix that you plant the same way. I might do them closer to the tomatoes. But yeah. By the zucchini plants now. These 2 zucchini plants came from the greenhouse. And I have striped zucchini seeds and yellow bush patty pan seeds that I want to do. So I think I'm gonna finish the one row with the striped zucchini and do a second row of patty pan zucchini, and then all of our zucchini will be in the ground. The patty pan, I want to see which one does better, the zucchini or the patty pan. We'll always have zucchini, they're my fiance's favorite, and I love zucchini too, but patty pans tend to have less pest issues. If we have those, start to have those issues with the zucchini, we have the patty pan as like a backup crop. Basically, they can be used like zucchini, they can be used like pumpkin in baking. They're very versatile. So I want to try out both of these and see which ones do better for us personally. Also, I don't think I've shown you guys the zucchini. They're starting to give off little zucchinis, and they're flowering beautifully. Everything has done really well transplant so far, which I'm really happy about. The only bugs I'm having issues with are, I think, flea beetles, and they're on my tomatoes and everything. So I'm trying to find what I can do for those. But zucchini, the zucchini flowers are so pretty too. Out for now. Oh, it's getting nice. So we have our 2 zucchinis from the greenhouse, and then planted 4 more zucchinis to the end of the garden. And then right beside that I have a marker for the patty pans, and they go right to the end of the garden. Now on the opposite side, between where we planted our peppers last week and where we have a few smaller crops like radishes, I have this square. I'm going to put the Denver carrots here. The soil is nice and loose. It's a good sized plot, and I can fit a lot in it. Guys, the end is in sight. The next thing I'm planting are the Detroit dark red beets, because again, we love pickled food in this house, and pickled beets are a staple. So I'm gonna plant 1 row of beets, and then beside that row of beets I am going to do butternut squash, and I am doing the Waltham variety. And these are another plant that you need a lot of space between each plant because they vine. So it's gonna seem like you're underplanting, but you're not, because again, they vine. They're vining right. It is the next day. We ended up, 1, getting weathered out from yesterday, 2, we had a possible frost warning yesterday, so I had to cut everything short and cover all of my cold sensitive crops with buckets really quickly at the end of the day yesterday. So we did that, and I am coming out to the garden to 1, see if they survived the night. I don't think we ended up with frost, but it was like 4 degrees above freezing last night. So I'm a little nervous, but I know for a fact, like my brassicas, my broccoli and all that, loved it last night. And I wanted to show you guys, yesterday I noticed I have a little broccoli started, or not broccoli, cauliflower started in the middle there. So I have all my nice little baby pepper plants. And then we have the greenhouse peppers that I got, which have peppers coming in on them already, which is very exciting. And please ignore all of the grass. I have a ton of weeding I have to do, but my focus up until now has been getting everything in the garden. I have the rest of the year to weed. Now, I have a question for you guys. What are we doing that is as natural as possible about flea beetles? Because I think that's what I have on my tomato plants. I don't think they're aphids, but they are going ham on these, but there's nothing under the leaves like aphids would. So I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. One thing I think that I'm gonna try and do, start today at least, is we are going to mulch this all, and I'm hoping that will help with whatever is attacking these guys. So while the ground is still wet from all of the rain that we've had, today's job is to at least start mulching my tomato plants. Now the reason I'm putting leaves down is, one, they're very plentiful where I live. We have lots of maple and oak trees around our yard, so I raked these all up in the spring because I just didn't have time over the fall to do it when we moved in. But these are great for a few things. One, covering the ground around your tomato plants, covering the soil, helps prevent blight, which is, I believe, a fungal disease that when it rains, the rainwater hits the soil, it will splash up this fungal disease onto your leaves of your tomato plants, and it could kill your tomato plant if you let it go too far. Another thing is it just helps keep the soil around your tomato plants moist for longer, so you can go longer periods of time between watering, which we just got a bunch of rain, so the soil is nice and wet. So I want to get as much of it down today as I can before it rains again, because this blue skies went away pretty quick there. So I don't know how long we're gonna have, but wet soil will stay wet longer, essentially, so we don't have to water as often, which is always a plus. And a final, I guess, second to last great reason for doing this, it helps suppress weeds. So I will have to do a lot less weeding in between all of these plants that I do end up getting mulch down for, as well as the leaves will break down into the soil and help feed the soil with nutrients and just help keep the ecosystem in the soil very happy. All of the tomatoes are mulched, and dare I say, I did not know how my little seedlings were gonna do, I'm not gonna lie, but quite a few of them I'm pretty proud of. They're doing really good out here. So I have all of them mulched, which is a huge job ticked off of my list. I have plenty of leaves left, so I'm gonna start mulching, I think, my brassicas, because they like a damp soil, so I think they would benefit the most out of everything I have left to do. So I'm gonna do those first as a priority, and then I think that's it for this week, but we'll see. The garden is like basically planted at this point. We got a huge job done with mulching the tomatoes, the brassicas, and then I started to mulch the peppers with what I had left in the wheelbarrow. I still have leaves, but it is getting to the end of the day and we got a lot done. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining me on my gardening journey. If you have any tips or tricks for me that you think I should know, let me know down below. Next week, we have probably my most exciting video yet. We have a delivery. So, if you want to check that out, don't forget to subscribe